Hello and welcome to Celebrities and the Stars. I'm your host, Siggy, and this is my husband, Gregory, and we are here to talk about Erika and Charlie Kirk. We are going to be looking at their natal charts and their synastry, and Gregory here is going to be doing a tarot reading on their relationship. As you know, obviously they've been in the news lately. Erika Kirk taking over TP USA and Charlie Kirk's assassination and that trial going on in Utah. We thought it might be time to take a look at their charts. So let's get started here, dear.
Let's get started.
Alrighty. We're looking at Erika Kirk's natal chart first. Now, we do have a time of birth for her, so her reading will be a little more accurate than Charlie's, which we don't have his time of birth. But Erika Kirk is a Scorpio sun, and her sun is on her ascendant. So she is a Scorpio rising as well, which makes her assertive and confident. And this also means that her chart is ruled by Mars, the traditional ruler of Scorpio. I like to use the traditional rulers, but we can also take a look at Pluto, where it is in her chart, and it is in her 12th house also in Scorpio. She's a millennial as well. And her Mercury is also in Scorpio in the 12th house. She tries to keep her ideas a secret. And she's got enemies she doesn't know about in that 12th house. Now let's take a look at her Mars. Her Mars is in Aries in the 4th house. So she comes off as aggressive in her energy. And this is trine her sun. So those planets are getting along there. Her moon is also in Aries, but in the 5th house, which means her moods and emotions can be impulsive in regards to her children and love life. She's also a little bit on the vindictive side. Now, I also want to point out that in her 4th house, we see her mother's influence, as with Mars in Aries. Her mother is someone who is very, very assertive and pioneering with a lot of authority. I understand that Erika did a lot of work prior to marrying Charlie Kirk and getting involved in TPUSA, and perhaps she was pushed to do all these things prior by her mother's influence. And her Venus, it's in Libra, and it's native to that planet, but we'll talk more about that later. Her Jupiter is in Gemini in the 7th house. She has a lot of ideas, good ideas, and she shares them with other people. But because it's in opposition to her Mercury in the 12th house, she'll tend to hold back some of her ideas and details, maybe to protect herself. Maybe she's got a little bit of paranoia going on. Now, her Saturn is in Capricorn. This is very strong energy, as Saturn is the ruling planet of Capricorn. Her ideas about tradition are very strong, which explains a lot her marrying Charlie Kirk. And this is in her 2nd house. So she has very traditional ideas about money. She's very ambitious as well, as we can see with all of her, achievements in her life. Now, she may be a Scorpio rising, but you can tell by the way she dresses that she shows her wealth via jewelry in a kind of a waspy manner. We could see this in her Venus in Libra, which is sextile her Saturn. And then her Saturn is square her Mars, which can lead to a manipulative person. Now, let's take a look at Charlie's chart. Now, unfortunately, we don't have a birth time for him. So there have been other astrologers that have figured out his birth time, and they have their own theories, but we won't be doing that here. Now, his sun, moon, and Jupiter are in Libra. So his ability to compromise are very good, or were very good, unfortunately. His manner of death was atrocious and horrible. And he was very social, this guy. But his Saturn in Aquarius and Venus in Virgo made him quite conservative. This is probably, where he gets all that conservative energy. Venus and Virgos are often grossed out by sex. The progressive qualities of Aquarius are halted by Saturn here. It's traditional ruling planet, by the way. And it kind of brought out more of an authoritarian side in him that we see in Aquarius that sometimes people don't like to talk about. This Saturn trined his Sun and Jupiter. These planets work together to give him that boost in his debates. Now he's got Scorpio placements, and we'll be talking about that with the Synastry later. Mars, Mercury, and Pluto. Like his wife, he had secrets of his own. Maybe this is why Candace Owens is so obsessed with trying to figure out those secrets. With his Mars in Scorpio, he was very passionate about his endeavors and his ideas, with his Mars conjunct his Mercury as well. Now, let's take a look at the Synastry, the charts combined. Now, I won't really be looking at Charlie's moon because we don't have a time of birth, and the moon, you need an exact time of birth to figure out the moon. But first and foremost, their suns. His sun is in Libra, ruled by Venus, and her sun is in Scorpio, ruled by Mars, which creates kind of a difficult dynamic. His Venus in Virgo is sextile her sun in Scorpio, so he did find her attractive. And she's a very pretty lady, long blonde hair, pretty eyes. Okay. His sun in Libra is in opposition to her moon in Aries, so his ego did clash with her emotions. Her Venus is conjunct his sun and Jupiter, so he felt valued by her and he made her feel attractive, which is always important in a relationship. Now, the strongest part of their Synastry, I feel, is their Mercuries are conjunct. Both Mercuries in Scorpio, so their ideas and their talks flowed. But with Scorpio influence, they kind of had their secrets, each of them. Now, his Venus in Virgo is not getting along with her Mars in Aries. Those energies just don't mix well. His way of being romantic would have irritated her, and her anger would have been a turnoff for a Virgo Venus, as I am one, so I understand that. And especially with his more conservative values, that would have been more of a problem. Now, Charlie's Saturn was square Erika's Sun and her Mercury as well. And this is an issue between fixed signs. So you have that issue. When he applied, logical thinking as an Aquarian does with limits in Saturn, it really hurt Erika's Scorpio nature emotionally. This also could have added, brought in their Scorpio Mercuries to interact with this Saturn square Erika's Sun. Okay, let's talk about the Plutos. His Pluto is conjunct her Sun, and this would have produced some power struggles between them. Her ego versus his want for change. There might have been some jealousy as well between them. Erika's Pluto is conjunct Charlie's Mars and Mercury, so she might have tried to control or start arguments. But this man was a great debater. I mean, sure, he lost his fair share of debates, but he was very good at what he did. So he could outthink her, and it could have turned into psychological warfare. So there's the Synastry, the natal chart interpretations. Now we are going to go over here to the Love Guru and see what he has to say with the tarot.
Well, Sigrún, Shabbat Shalom. Erika Kirk is still at home. So let's look into it, dear. And if you could help me, in terms of some of the astrological influences, even within the cards, you shared with us, with me, these beautiful insights in terms of their synastry, their chemistry, or unfortunately, their lack of.
Yeah, it was really challenged.
So the way I visualize it, the eyes are the mirror of the soul. I can picture Erika's eyes. That's Scorpio energy.
Very strong. Scorpio rising. Just
Scorpio.
Overriding. Yeah, and that Mars influence as well.
Almost scary.
Yeah, it is scary.
And then the contrast to Charlie's eyes. And as you had shared with us, in terms of his ability to debate, he had that Libran quality of diplomacy.
Oh, yes, very much so.
In contrast to hers, even, bless his soul, Charlie Kirk, wherever you may be, Erika's dealings with public, with the media, it's not been good.
No, it hasn't been good at all.
Scorpio energy.
Yes.
So let's take a look into between the two of them. And as I shared with you, even with all this media attention, you can still you can feel Charlie's energy.
Yes.
Even still. So let's look into the heart, the emotions between the two of them. Was there sincerity? Ten of Swords. All is lost, unhappiness, broken goals, and deep distress. That's Sun in Gemini, dear.
Oh, boy.
Sun in Gemini.
Yes.
Sun in Gemini. Rune of plans, defeat in war, failure, pain, tears.
Ouch.
Oh, that's where their emotions were, dear.
Yeah.
Their compatibility between the two of them, as you had shared, Scorpio, Libra, different influences. Were they compatible? Mm-hmm. This is a Virgoan energy, dear. Knight of Pentacles. It's a Virgo energy. It can be slow moving. It, obviously can be about finances. Money. It's in Virgo. So, for example, what did you think about the Virgo influences between the Virgo and?
Yeah, where Charlie had that Virgo influence, made him quite conservative. The Venus Virgo. Okay, and obviously Virgo, Earth sign, practical, modest, and this Earth energy with Virgo focused on money.
Yeah, there was, obviously within TPUSA, etc., there was a lot of money. So maybe the compatibility was in the conservative, the earthy.
Yes, exactly. It was practical, and there's some talks about arranged marriage between the two.
You think she was a honeypot, dear?
Gee, I don't know, with all that Scorpio and Mars influence, especially in the fourth house with her mother's influence.
Good or bad, I think Charlie was sincere. Erika, I don't know.
Right.
Her sincerity. So the compatibility could have been, obviously about, the financial, the economic, the earthy influence. So let's see where their desires.
Oh.
Once again, my dear, Saturn in Taurus. Better with time, but still in a money house.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Seven of Pentacles for the viewers. Okay. So there's your prosperity. We have the challenge within their emotions, within the heart, within the incompatibility between the two of them, but they're, the compatibility and desires in money. Now, were they faithful and true? Driven by ambitions, success, in Cancer, they're obviously very sociable.
Oh, yes.
They would have had to have been.
Yes,
Okay.
dealing with that many people and as big as TPUSA is. Yeah.
Yeah, so it doesn't necessarily indicate infidelity, but a high level of sociability.
Yes, exactly.
So let's see. Were these two intimately, sexually attracted to each other?
Ooh.
Mars in Scorpio. As you had shared, Librans, high on the 1 to 12? No, not so much. Scorpios?
Oh, yeah.
Number 1.
Yes, exactly.
So was she disappointed when it came to intimacy, dear?
Yeah, because his Venus was in Virgo, so
Virgo, not a what you would call
not a big sexy.
not a big sexy. So intimacy, so far we have the compatibility, I'm assuming, in money and in ambitions, but when it came to love and as well as intimacy, there was disappointment. So their marriage, logical. Then to me, my intuitive sense, was it arranged?
Right.
Yeah. He is a judge. Okay.
Yeah, King of Swords.
King of Swords, he embodies an Aquarian energy here.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the Aquarian energy in Charlie's chart, and too bad we don't have his time of birth. You know, it might have given us some house influences on him.
Yeah, Libra, an airy house. Aquarius, obviously an airy house. Aquarians, are they good at debating? Well, yes, absolutely. Assertive,
Yeah, all that air
analytical.
energy. Yeah.
Yeah. So, standards and values, that difference, you know, is his passing still having a play on Erika, them? Well, yeah, it's in court. We're not doing a reading on Tyler Robinson. We're doing a reading on Erika and Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
So the influence, obviously, of the death,
Yeah.
where the Scorpio energy can indicate transformation and renewal, but maybe perhaps it is in this regard dealing with the passing.
Mm-hmm.
Could they trust each other? Well, you know, this is Sagittarian energy, Knight of Wands.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I think it connects into here in that being left alone. You know, you can have a fiery, passionate influence, but also one being left alone.
Right.
So that influence, and then just basically, you know, some long terms. Obviously, he's passed. They did have children together.
Yeah, they had two daughters, I believe.
Yeah, so you know, where's she gonna go? Where is he gonna go? Hmm. Gain in wealth and prestige. Mercury in Virgo. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, Ten of Pentacles. That's the money.
Buku money, as you
Yes,
say.
the buku. Gaining wealth and prestige. Property is acquired. Was it all about money, Siggy? Was that the nature of their relationship? Just primarily money? And let's see.
Oh.
Queen of Pentacles. She's a Capricorn.
No, she's a Scorpio, but she had her Capricorn influences.
Yeah, so she's comfortable now, settled. How is she settled? Money,
Right.
money, money. There's more to us than just money, isn't there, Siggy?
Yes, but money does relieve a lot of stress in a relationship, and especially if you're a widow. Money does. Imagine if your spouse died, they brought in half the income, or even all of the income, and then you don't have any income, or your income is cut in half. I mean, that just adds to the stress and the emotional strain of a past, loved one. Um, but yeah, if you're hooked up with money, it takes that stress out of the equation. But she's, pursuing TPUSA and running it, being in charge. So her energy hasn't been well received within, outside of TPUSA, the public face of TPUSA, not like Charlie was.
Yeah, money's in the root chakra, dear. Health, abundance, connection to Earth, and moving forward in life. When it's in balance,
Mm-hmm.
Earth, when it's in balance, their influence in money, it
Mm-hmm.
was out of balance. It was overriding, controlling. Security is one thing. So much money that it creates insecurity, then,
More money, more problems.
more money, more problems.
Yeah, they have all these influences and these various little sections of TPUSA. You know, they got the main TPUSA, they have TPUSA Faith. You know, they're involved in politics, even international politics.
And don't forget Ben Shapiro. We can't leave out Ben Shapiro and his interest.
Right.
Well, there you go, dear. You know, whether overall ambitions, money, finance, but unfortunately, as we had assumed, or I had assumed, you know, on an intimate level, would there be disappointments between a Scorpio and a Libra? Look at the incompatibility.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's first and foremost. You look at the ego, the sun. Yeah, there's Libra ruled by Venus, Scorpio ruled by Mars, and even if you want to use the modern ruler, Pluto. Do those planets get to, get along together? Not so much.
Scorpio's jealous and possessive. You could see it in her eyes.
Right, yes.
Okay, Sigrun.
Yeah. Alrighty. Thank you all so much for watching. And we're going to be coming out with a video soon on Andrew Tate and his brother getting arrested. That should lead to some juicy readings.
Thank you very much, dear.
Yeah. Alrighty. And until next time, bye bye.
Bye bye.